The moment I felt the truth rising in my throat, ready to be spoken, it struck me he already knew. Every secret I had buried, every deceitful trace I thought I had hidden, was no longer mine alone. This is the story of a woman me who strayed from the life she had built, believing she could navigate the storm, only to realize too late that the man she betrayed had been steps ahead all along. I should have turned around the first time something inside me whispered that I was drifting too far, but I didn't. I let it grow, let it feed off the boredom, the restlessness, the aching space inside me I refused to name. I gave it roots, and before I knew it, I watched it unravel everything I loved. It all began with a single message. One late night, while the kids were asleep and Nathan was upstairs brushing his teeth, my phone lit up. A name I hadn't seen in years. Ethan. A college memory, a flicker from another life. Someone I once almost loved, or maybe someone who had almost loved me. Someone I hadn't hurt back then. Not yet. Hey, been a while. Simple, familiar, harmless. But there was a pulse behind it that made something stir in me, something reckless and long ignored. I replied. I shouldn't have, but I did. One message became two, then five, then a stream that bled into midnight conversations, quiet laughter, subtle flirtations, then video calls behind closed doors, and eventually, stolen hours in hotel rooms with dim lighting and guilty sheets. I was married. Nathan and I had built a stable life, 2 kids, a modest house, quiet weekends. It was a life most people would envy. I told myself I wasn't unhappy, just unmoored, like I'd lost the signal to something once steady and bright. So when Ethan reappeared, he didn't feel like temptation. He felt like distraction, validation, escape. Nathan saw the change before I did. He didn't accuse me or shout. He simply watched me with those steady, knowing eyes that made it worse. You seem like you're somewhere else, he said one night while flipping through movie options. A bowl of popcorn in his lap. I kissed his forehead and lied. It's just work stress. He nodded slowly, not convinced but unwilling to press. I realize now he was watching me drift away, brick by brick, wondering whether to chase after me or let the tide carry me out. But I kept meeting Ethan. Not because I loved him, I didn't. Not even because I truly enjoyed his company. He made me feel wanted again, yes. But Nathan made me feel seen. And when you're hiding something, being seen is unbearable. That was when Nathan began to change. He became gentler, more attentive. He'd cook elaborate dinners without being asked, take the kids to school early so I could rest, rub the tension from my shoulders after long days. It wasn't performative. It was him clinging silently to a woman he suspected was slipping away. The guilt should have crushed me then. I should have stopped. I didn't. Then, casually, he mentioned a family gathering. We were at his mother's house, drinking coffee at the worn kitchen table, Sunday at 3. He said, just a few things we need to talk through. I frowned. Talk about what? He offered a soft smile. Just some things. You don't have to come. That should have set off alarms. Nathan's family didn't meet like that, not without the spouses. His mother, his sisters, cousin Liam, they only came together when something mattered. But I brushed it off. Maybe it was about money, or maybe his mom's health. Sunday arrived. Nathan left with the kids just after 2:30. I stayed behind, tidying the house, replying to Ethan's messages, a heavy sense of unease curling in my chest. At 11 p.m., the texts began. First, Sarah, you knew exactly what you were doing. I'm at a loss. Then Liam, did you really think he wouldn't find out? My fingers trembled. I called Nathan, no answer. I sent message after message, nothing. At 4:47, the front door opened. Nathan stepped in calm, unreadable. He didn't slam the door. He didn't shout. He simply walked over and handed me an envelope. What is this? I asked, my voice barely audible. Open it. Inside were printed screenshots, my texts with Ethan, photos, hotel check-ins, a mirror selfie, Ethan's arm around my waist, dates, times, receipts. It was all there, undeniable and methodically ranged. My knees gave out, but he didn't move to help. He just stood there, his face still. You told them, I whispered. He nodded. They're my family, my support. You're not part of that anymore. I stammered. I begged. I used every excuse: loneliness, distance, confusion. I said I still loved him. I said it was a mistake. He let me speak. When I finished, he met my eyes and said, "Do you even grasp what you've done? You didn't just lie to me. You betrayed our children. You broke something sacred. You turned our life into a joke." I opened my mouth again, but he cut me off. Every message, every kiss, every lie. You chose it. He didn't ask for a divorce, not then. He said he wanted space, separation, not because he needed time, but because he wanted me to sit with the absence, to feel what it was like to be on the outside of something that had once been warm. And hold on, 2 days later, I moved into my sister's spare room. I told myself it wasn't over, that maybe, after the hurt eased, he'd forgive me. But weeks passed. Nathan only replied to co-parenting messages. He changed the locks, removed his wedding ring. Then I noticed the quiet erasures. Sarah had blocked me. His mother never returned my calls. Liam unfollowed me. I wasn't just cast out. I was erased. I saw Ethan once more, at a bar. He was relaxed, carefree. To him, it had been nothing, a casual, reckless indulgence. To Nathan, it had been everything. Photos of Nathan began surfacing. Him at the park, laughing with the kids, attending family dinners, smiling. That smile wrecked me. Not because he was happy, but because he looked whole, as if I had never existed. One night, desperate, I wrote him an 8-page letter. I poured every ounce of my pain, my remorse, my longing into those pages. I sent it. A week later, it returned, unopened. That's when the truth landed. Betrayal doesn't always erupt in violence or rage. Sometimes it ends in silence, a closed door, a seat at a family meeting you were never invited to. Love doesn't always die with a bang. Sometimes it vanishes in whispers, in photos you didn't know were taken, in a man who chooses to carry on without you. Nathan never screamed, never humiliated me, but his silence was louder than any rage. It echoes still in the quiet moments. I don't expect forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. If I could go back, I wouldn't stray. Not because I got caught, but because I lost. The only man who ever truly saw me, and even then, chose to let me go. Some betrayals don't explode. They smolder. They follow you. They haunt you long after the fire's gone out. Asterisk.